bestbookbits.com brings you The Buddha and the Badass, The Secret Spiritual Art of Succeeding at Work by Vishen Lakhiani. Forget hustling, this book will disrupt your deeply held beliefs about work, success, and indeed life. If you're the average person in the developed world, you spend 70% of your waking hours at work. If you're the average person, you're miserable for most of those hours. This is simply not an acceptable state of affairs for your one shot at life. No matter your station, you possess an incredible, unique powers. It's a modern myth that hard work and hustle are the paths to success. Inside you is a soul, and once you unleash it fully into the domain of work, magic happens. Awakening the Buddha and the Badass inside you is a process that will disrupt the way you work altogether. You'll gain access to tools that bend the very rules of reality. The Buddha is the archetype of the spiritual master, the person who can live in this world but also move with an ease, grace, and flow that comes from inner awareness and alignment. The Badass is the archetype of the changemaker. This is the person who is out there creating change, building, coding, writing, inventing, leading. The Badass represents the benevolent disruptor, the person challenging the norms so we can be better as a species. Once you integrate the skill sets of both archetypes, you will experience life at a different level from most people. You will operate from a space of bliss, ease, inspiration, and abundance. On with the book summary. Chapter 1, that carrying clear direction and meaning is knowing your core worth. By most of us, it is known that each individual has a unique fingerprint. The person who speaks, we almost have peerless spirit. Prince is the writer. While fingerprints have occurred before we were born, spirit prints are created by our early life experiences. Everything we live in makes an impression, good, bad, and ugly. What is the set of core values that led choices and actions on an often unconscious level is the outcome of this soul trace. The first step towards connecting with our essential selves and unhitching the Buddha is realizing these core values. Core values are introduced in childhood and teen ages, though they also remain fairly constant in adulthood, only changing after life-changing experiences such as trauma. Assume that these values as a law that is changed rarely and for critical significant reasons. When we become aware of our core values, connection, both what we want and demand, can occur. This makes it simpler for us to comprehend what kind of impact we want to have on the globe, as well as the actions and roles that will resonate with us. Unless we know what our core values are, we can follow a career that makes us unhappy. Therefore, a question appears, and it is, how do you reveal your core values? It is proposed as a starting story exercise by the writer. This includes thinking carefully about your life to recognize significant experiences. These types of events inform your values deeply because neither you never desire to forget them nor hope you never go through them again. Your future actions is influenced by it. Writing them down in detail as much as possible after choosing these experiences is the next step. This must involve what happened, who was there, and how you felt. Ultimately, consider what lessons and beliefs emerge from every experience and what values they represent. For instance, when it was thought about bullying and the encounter with racism by the writer, he apprehended that these moments ingrained in him the worth of clemency and variety. After you are aware of your core values, it can be used to inform your decisions by you, the aims you set, and the projects you undertake. Chapter 2. Be clear about both your deeper purpose and plan to charm suitable individuals. As you follow jobs and targets that match your core values, it is required to encompass yourself with individuals who can assist you to accomplish them. However, you cannot partner with anyone. By the people you work with, it is needed to agree and align with your values. That can get these types of people attracted to you is good news. To encourage people to join you, you're required to do more than share what you do. You're required to share why you did it. As humans, we are committed to acting on our emotions and a deeper purpose. the reason behind what speaks directly to our emotions. This deeper aim is called the big cause, and it is why individuals are attracted to some companies and brands more than others. For instance, the bigger motive for Apple is to challenge the rules and consider them differently. It is aimed by Nike to stimulate and innovate for athletes around the globe. If you desire to pull collaborators as effectively as these brands attract customers, you require to determine why this lies in your values. When you understand it excellence, why you can pass it on to others, it is suggested to do this through a manifesto by the writer. What is a public statement that summarizes your larger cause and provides critical information like how you studied is a manifesto? What makes you matchless and the values you advocate are the things to think about when creating a manifesto, including your beliefs. As the clearer the manifesto, so the greater the chances of attracting the correct human beings. One final step in attracting right individuals is found and is having a vision. It is essential to have a vision of what you are aiming for at work and in life and how you plan to accomplish it. It assists you to act with intention and guides and motivates everyone towards a target. Looking into the future is the best way to create a vision and ask yourself where you wish to be 3 years from now. What do you desire to accomplish? Who do you desire to work with? And how do you desire the globe to see you? After answering these questions, you can work backward to identify steps that will assist you to bring your vision to life. It will be talked about later. Chapter 3. Once you promote social bonds, levels of felicitousness, commitment, and performance are risen by you. What affects achievements when collaborating on business or individual projects? It can be thought by you about strengths, communication, responsibilities, and timelines, and you are not mistaken. These are significant when working with individuals. However, another component that is needed is found social connectivity. What is not just a biological demand is being socially connected. It is very important for survival. Being in a tribe assisted our ancestors to find nutrients and escape danger. Now, social ties are significant for felicitousness, productivity, mind, and creativity. Therefore, strengthening social bonds between the individuals you work with is a vital talent. Thanks to social connections, it is provided numerous benefits. They can create a positive work atmosphere for you and others. They convert each team you discover yourself in. Happiness and participation are risen by it. As evidence, think that being friends at work increases work performance. By the Employee Engagement Survey, analytics firm Gallup, it was noticed that those who have good friends at work are 7 times more engaged than their friendless co-workers. Whether you're a team member or not, there are tactics you can apply to make social connections more possible. What is to create rituals and hold social events is one tactic of sparking friendships. Ideally, these will occur on a daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly and yearly basis. For example, it could be started by you every day with a gratitude exercise for individuals to share their gratitude and have regular meetings outside the office. Thanks to such events, a chance to connect on a personal level are given for individuals. Using safe spaces is another tactic, such as WhatsApp group, where human beings can share their individual experiences and seek backup when required. This assists to create a feeling of belonging. Although it will be likely found by many of them tough to remain unprotected, this is an important component of bonding. Hence, take the lead by being authentic and expressing your vulnerability. For instance, it is taking care to explain to the team while going through a tough period in his life by the writer. This allows others to do the same and creates an occasion to back up them as best they can. Chapter 4. Select a duty that provide to leave the globe as a better area. The globe today is more interconnected than ever before. Even though this has many benefits, it also generates significant responsibilities. Our actions and selections have far-reaching results, a case that is particularly correct in business. By some firms, it is concentrated solely on profits, neglecting the damage they or their products cause. These are what the writer calls humanity minus companies. It is not necessary to say this is not compatible with Buddha and the badass mindset. Joining the forces of both Buddha and the badass means being plus humanity, having a mission that adds worth to the globe. Once you concentrate on a task that will make the globe better, you gain meaning and satisfaction from your work. You also pull individuals who are emotional about problem solving and making a distinction. What is to have the great transformational purpose, or MTP for short, is a way to stay mission orientated. An MTP is a target that will have a tremendous influence. It's like Google's mission to make knowledge universally accessible. Just similar to Google's, your MTP should be tough. What makes it more interesting to work on is that you can define an MTP by thinking about the problems and causes that inspire you, the individuals you desire to influence, and the mission-driven brands you already back up. When you have an MTP, being taking motion and creating initiatives that will get you closer to accomplishing it. However, what unless you're in a position to make a big difference? Your company's projects maybe aren't brave enough, or you run a small business, even working single. In this fact, the massive transformational purpose might not work for you, but you can still be mission orientated. Taking a stand is necessary only by you. A good way to add meaning to your business and make a difference is taking a stand for or against something. By a social media influencer, for instance, it might have had a point to never support unhealthy foods. Similarly, a t-shirt designer can build their brand thanks to sending positive messages. And taking a brave attitude isn't just the correct thing to do, it's good for business as well. In 2019, a survey conducted by software company Sprout Social, it was noticed that 66% of purchasers desired brands to encourage political and social issues publicly. Chapter 5. Do not be scared of brave visions. They promote you to achieve magnificent things. Have you ever learned of the flea experiment in the jar? By the scientist, it was put the fleas in an open jar and they all popped out, as you expected. After that, they were put in a sealed jar for a few days and something interesting occurred. Fleas did not fly out when the cover was open, although nothing was stopping them. They were only adapted to jump as high as the opening of the jar. Although they are much more intelligent than fleas, so are people. Once human beings get used to tracking small visions, they restrict their reach. Although brave visions can be scary, they force human beings to leave a sign on the globe, which is a nuisance. Therefore, what's the mystery of bringing brave visions to life? First of all, do not forget that the bigger the vision, the simpler it is to achieve. What excites individuals are big dreams, and thanks to the excitement, people inspire action even in the face of obstacles. It also is significant to consider ahead. Talk about what your project will look like in 10 years. This will attract individuals who are interested in creating the future. However, be sure you are lucid about how you reach that future. Establish measurable targets that will assist you to reach your vision. And let yourself fail in setting your targets. Once people aren't scared of failing, they do more experiments, which can have unbelievable consequences. Go back to Google. Although 40% of their projects failed, their achievement from Google Drive to Gmail is tremendous. One more thing brave visionaries do is found. Make other dreams that big too. For doing this, it is recommended by the writer to use the prediction of feature. It is to envision something excellent for someone and talk as provided that they have succeeded. This is an excellent source of motivation as it shows individuals that you believe. By accomplished entrepreneur Richard Branson, it got used to this tactic when he forced his friends to swim 3 miles from one island to another. When they finished swimming, he told the winner, "I can't wait to see how it will be on the way back." The idea that Branson placed in his friend's mind was so strong that he was the first to swim either way. Chapter 6. To have an optimum work area. Let individuals communicate freely and move fast. Imagine this, you're brainstorming with a co-worker and two of you are on fire. You are fully synchronized, developing every other idea at speed of light. It's fun and exciting, and both of you sense like you are after something great. There is a term for this. This is a named brain matching, and neuroscientists have discovered that when humans experience this, their brains are the same frequency. This means they work like a single combined superbrain. Presently, assume that everyone in your team, company, or even your family could work together this way. You cannot be stopped. So guess what? It can be creating a combined brain field. In this combined brain area, opinions flow naturally. By individuals, it is always being tried new things, which guides rapid growth. For experiencing this in your group or organization, get rid of the individuals from the rules of hierarchy. Yes, even though roles should be respected, provided that individuals are concerned about following the chain of command, they cannot easily exchange ideas. It was discerned this and eliminated hierarchical communication by Pixar, which is one of the most innovative companies in the world. It was decided by them that everyone could be reached directly wherever they were in the organization. Once the hierarchy is gone, it can be worked on speed, the next quality of combined brain area by you. For doing this, find out from a military strategy that promotes human beings to act quickly, even if they are not certain. By the United States Air Force colonel who developed it, was noticed that his best pilot spent more rounds shooting down the enemy aircraft than anyone else. The reason is that they didn't wait to be 100% certain before firing. They just saw the occasion to shoot and take action. By the writer, it shortened the decision-making time by applying this idea in his company. Rather than long email threads or time-consuming meetings, the whole team relies on instant messages such as Slack or WhatsApp. So making a decision takes minutes rather than an hour or even days. This leads to more gains and faster finding out when wrong decisions are made. Chapter 7. Comprehend that you are sufficient for immunity to decline and oppression, and uniquely design a life of your own. It has been possible to meet individuals who aren't bothered by other people's opinions about them, by you. They walk to the beat of their drums and simply overcome setbacks, whether it's a failed date or a little negative feedback. By such people, it has accomplished something powerful. They overcome the requirement to feel meaningful in the eyes of others. This takes some work for the reason that human beings naturally seek approval. However, when people are completely comfortable with who they are, their trust is impossible to be shaken and they take full control of their lives. This is a badass quality and an attitude that you can, luckily, improve too. The first step to removing the need for permission is to comprehend that you have sufficient of who and what you are. When you don't see yourself as incomplete, your self-esteem will not be influenced by outside factors like a failure or someone who doesn't like you. To begin feeling like you are adequate, get used to the habit of expressing your love for yourself and practicing self-gratitude. The basic act of looking in the mirror each day and saying I love you will eventually lead to more self-worth. To apply your gratitude to yourself, make a list of everything you appreciate about yourself every morning. Concentrating on your positive features will increase them. That is to design your Vita, which is matchless. For you is the following step. For many individuals, it was let family, media, and community in general impact how they live. The outcome is a life that is created to satisfy others and is finally unsatisfactory. It was experienced by the writer while pursuing a career in computer science, relying on his grandfather's advice. After studying 5 years and starting a job at Microsoft, he understood that he hated his job. To withdraw from a similar trap, you have to discover what your dreams and targets are and then design your life around them. Start by asking yourself what type of experiences you desire to have in life, how you desire to grow as a human being, and how you desire to give it back to the globe. After you learn the answers, you can create a life that is correct reflection of what the globe expects from you. Chapter 8. Aim for continuous, conscious growth in all fields of your life. Do you recognize when you began tracking achievement? Perhaps your family promoted you, or you discerned accomplished individuals being celebrated and praised. But the idea came to mind. You are not alone in considering that life is about how much you have succeeded. However, that's not the purpose of life. It shouldn't be concentrated on the pursuit of accomplishment by you. Instead, your final target must be growth. The main message here is it should be aimed for continuous, conscious growth in all areas of your life. To grow, you need to experience an alteration, not only learn something fresh. What is the distinction? Sure, something you found out can be simply forgotten in a day or two. However, once you transform, this is unchangeable. Learning to ride a bike can be given as an example of it. Once you discover this balance, it's not possible to remove it. What can switch your view of the globe or change a long-standing belief is a transformation, and it appears in two different ways. By you, it can be experience something hurtful that forces you to change. A brutal heartbreak can teach you how to select future partners. Or, for instance, you can learn novel information gradually and voluntarily by examining the biographies of significant leaders. That means you're less able to take painful lessons by selecting a deliberate transformation, and by embracing a transformational routine, you can run this type of growth in your life. This means creating time and occasions for individual growth. In the writer's conversion routine, it is involved deeply sleep quality with the aid of supplements and sleep tracking. This guides to better moods and brain performance throughout the day. He frequently meditates not just on attention, but on compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, and also next plans. What involves speed reading, which permits it to acquire fresh information much faster, is the conversion routine. After designing an individual transformation routine, promote growth in your business life by building the correct conditions, as it will increase your performance. Begin by freeing your mornings. Unless individuals are under the pressure to start work early, they can give primary things such as sleep, exercise, meditation, and reading. It's also a good idea to distinguish money for growth occasions, especially education and health. Chapter 9. It is your identity that notifies your experience. Begin to see yourself distinctively, and your life will become changing. What do you think about your wanting self? What does it look like? Maybe this excellent, you are amazingly fit, either in a great relationship or wealthy enough to never struggle about money. Presently, what if someone told you that you could be that individual? Deciding who you are is all you are necessary to do. Even though you may think this is too tough, it truly works. What shapes your experiences is how you comprehend yourself. Thus, provided that you adopt enabling beliefs about yourself, your behavior, and life will do the same. The ultimate step in connecting Buddha and the badass is this change of identity. When you achieve this, your life will convert satisfying in any way. What is to dream about your excellent life is the initial part of the process. Ask yourself this: what would a perfect day appear as if things like money or location weren't important? We're not talking about big experience such as climbing Mount Everest. Imagine an average day in your excellent life. Make a diary about this day to comprehend what type of individual you wish to be before moving on to the next step. Identify this person. Define how your excellent self performs on the 4 dimensions of a healthy identity. These are welfare, creativity and influence, abundance and strength, and love and connection. Think about what your ideal self should be like in each area and write down: is this self healthy and energetic? Is it productive and determined? Does this self have entrance to money and resources and appreciate high quality relationships? Defining who you have to be to live that excellent day is the aim. Once you apprehend as much as you can about your excellent self, it's time to embrace the benefits and behaviors of that self. Thanks to the great questions techniques, you can do that. Unlike confirmations, which include repeating statements until you believe them, the great questions techniques ask a question and promotes your brain to discover the proof. For instance, why am I so productive. When asking the question, evidence of creativity will be researched by your subconscious. The more evidence it finds, the more you will assume you are creative. To practice the technique, find up to 10 questions that relied on your excellent identity you created and then meditate on them each day. It will be begun to embrace the behaviors that demonstrate by you, and while doing so, you can also add more questions. In the event of giving time, you and your whole life will change. That's wrapping the book summary, The Buddha and the Badass by Vishen Lakhiani. If you want the PDF summary, click the link below to download this. We at Best Book Bits have packaged together 500 of the best book summaries in PDF and MP3 to download and take offline. So you can download this in the link below. So check it out, 500 book summary box set. Check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website, bestbookbits.com. We've got everything from courses, books, coaching, and all that fun stuff too. Thanks for watching and listening. Have yourself an amazing day and go out there and be the Buddha and the Badass. Take care. Bye-bye now.